All right, welcome everybody to the second episode of Pawn Shop of Life. I am your host, Brad BCG, along with my mostly permanent co-host, Baby Kangaroo, and sometimes co-host, Tammy B48. Today we're going to be talking about college football, the playoffs, and all that good stuff, and mental health and therapy. How do y'all feel about that?
I like it.
You mean about the absurdity that is the college football playoff?
Probably both topics, but you can start with that if you'd like.
Like every team that got a first round bye lost.
They lost?
Why don't we just, talk about that 800-pound gorilla in the group?
We can do that. Let's see. Were they all SEC teams?
No, there was only one. Georgia was the only SEC team that had a first round bye.
Oh, yeah. Poor Georgia.
Because all four were conference champions.
Poor Georgia. They lost their quarterback in more than one way.
I'm going to go on a limb here and say that they're not going to be that much worse off, if any, for having lost Carson Beck.
Well, the backup did play really good.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine with. I can't even remember what's the kid's name.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
Crockett or Rocket or
Look out for the rocket.
something like that. He's, from what I've read about him, he seems like a genuinely nice young man and very unpretentious. And unlike Carson Beck and driving a Lamborghini,
Well, if you can afford it, then
he drives his grandfather's F-150.
well, don't have to worry about insurance on it.
He's not pretentious.
Oh yeah. Well, Carson Beck, what did he tear up his elbow? I think he tore up his elbow.
He did, yeah.
Yeah,
And
and he
then
had surgery.
And then he transferred to Miami.
Well, he's got to go make some money because there's no guarantee he's ever going to play in the NFL.
Yeah, I think we talked about that before because it was, what did you say the NFL league minimum was? Like $600?
$795.
$795? Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to offer him like $5 or $10 million to come to Miami and play in nil money. So I don't think he's going to be hurting, but, it is what it is.
Well, compared to a long-term NFL contract, though, that ain't jack.
But like the reports were saying, do you want to go to the NFL and make $600,000 riding the bench, or do you want to come here and make $5 or $10 million?
No, I understand that.
There's nothing. There's no real question. I'd be like, sure, $10 million it is.
Well, I don't think he had any choice anyway because he had to have elbow surgery, and the teams are going to look at him and go, "We'd like to see what you can do before we ever think about signing you to a long-term contract."
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so let's see here. College football playoffs. All right, so we'll start with that then. The teams. Do we think the committee got it right? Do we like the teams that are in?
No.
No.
I think the mistake that the committee made all along was that they need to use some kind of format that the BCS used, so you're not just having the opinions of people factor into it. There needs to be some math involved where computers evaluate win-loss percentages and then extrapolate that out from the win-loss percentages of the teams that they beat and they lost to, just like the BCS had, because there's too much bias that exists for teams that historically have been good, but maybe aren't that good this year, but they get more credit than they probably deserve.
High tide.
High tide.
High tide.
I also think they needed to, after that first round, they should have reseeded.
Yeah, you mentioned something. You said somebody at work mentioned that, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think that makes sense because you've got, you've already got it all bracketed out. But after that first round, that was something that I don't think anyone could have predicted was going to happen. And then I think you need to reseed the rest of the bracket after that because then you're not having real true matchups.
Well, according to the talking heads, at least how they interpreted the rankings, 7 and 8 are playing for the national championship. So the bottom third.
Oh yeah, they were 7 and 8, wasn't they?
Are playing for the national championship, and again, I think that you could be just like the BCS was. There was a component of what people thought combined with the component of what the computer thought. And I think that I don't know that the computer would have picked it that much differently than the talking heads did, but I don't think that Texas and Notre Dame and Ohio State would have been ranked 7 and 8 going into this. I think they would have both been ranked higher than that, even though Ohio State lost the last game of the year to Michigan and then didn't get to play for their conference championship.
Well, Alabama lost to Michigan also, so there is that.
Michigan clearly gets up for big teams.
They do. It's just like Alabama sleeps on the little ones because who they lose to?
Vandy.
Vanderbilt.
That's not fair this year, though.
I'm not saying Vanderbilt's a bad team. I'm just,
But they didn't prepare for it.
Yeah.
I think Oklahoma was a worse loss than Vandy was.
Well, okay. Yeah. Fair enough of that. But
I mean, and anybody, look, this was the weirdest year that I can ever remember in college football.
Well, the transfer
of,
portal had a lot to do with that, too. I
yeah,
mean,
and that's not going to change, is it?
It's not.
No.
We're not going to have another dominant football program, whether it be SEC, Big 12, ACC, whatever. They're not going to have any dominance whatsoever, which might be not a bad thing, but
it's good and bad, I think. Because, I mean, it's nice to see some of the other colleges finally come up because, I mean, Alabama was dominant for the last, 12, 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And don't get me wrong, I'm an Alabama fan, high tide, but I'm probably going to lose some listeners for me saying that, but that's okay. It was great to have that dynasty, but it's just sad to know that there's not going to be any more dynasties like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but you know what might be the irony behind that? There are going to be teams that kids are always going to want to play for. And the one that comes to mind right now is playing in the national championship, and that's Notre Dame.
Well, yeah.
So it's entirely possible that teams like Notre Dame that have a lot of legacy could see that kind of a dynasty again, because the kids that are going to go there and going to play probably are not going to transfer out of Notre Dame through the portal to another school, assuming that their coach doesn't leave.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, like I said, it's going to be nice to see some other teams actually come up because, I mean, when's the last time Arizona's been as good as they were this year?
Yeah.
I can't remember them ever being good. And SMU. So, I mean, it's great to see some colleges come up, but that sadness of not seeing a dynasty anymore, the Cowboys in the NFL back in the 90s, it was great to see them win like that. The Bulls in the 90s, it was fun to see that. And I understand that it gets old after a while because everybody, just like Alabama, God, it's Alabama again. Great. Nobody watches it because it's like, all right, they won it again. But
people like to watch them in case they lose.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, but it's just the dynasties. That's going to be the sad part is no more dynasties because everybody's going to be good.
Well, and I think you're going to have to change the way you coach too, right? Because now you're going to have to prepare for not only your conference games, but you're going to have to start really paying attention to all the other teams in every other conference, because if you make it in, you could possibly play someone from a conference that you would never see on the field.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's goods and bads, but, whatever. High tide.
High tide.
High tide.
Go Tigers. Or as Ed Orgeron used to say, go Tigers.
That's better than the grass-eating motherfucker that left.
Yep.
Hey.
Yep.
What did he go to? What did he go to? Kansas State? Did he go to Kansas before
Something
he got
like
fired?
that. Yeah.
Went to Kansas,
And then
got fired.
He's not coaching now, I don't think.
No, because he wasn't good. He's eating too much grass. They had to run
I
him off.
guess that all depends on what kind of grass.
It wasn't the kind that makes you happy.
Not the fun kind.
Yeah, not the fun kind. All right, so there we go. I don't know. I think you mentioned it before, Baby Kangaroo, when we was talking, that just expand it to, what'd you say, top 15 or something?
It'd be easy enough to go to 16 right now because you're not going to get, it just means that the top 4 teams wouldn't get a first round bye. They'd play the weekend that all the other teams have started to play. So they could do it and not extend the season at all.
Yeah, and I think that would have worked because, the argument was made that Alabama should have been in and Ole Miss should have been in. But the way Alabama got their ass whooped in the bowl game, it looked like they deserved to be out of the playoffs, which I really feel like they even being an Alabama fan, they didn't deserve to be in the playoffs.
No.
So that's fine.
And like you said, to back your point up about the bowl game, they showed up and it was like they forgot they were playing football. It was embarrassing to be an Alabama fan, to be quite honest.
Yeah, that first quarter was hateful.
All right, so y'all know I'm not an Alabama fan, but this is what I'll say about my observation of Alabama and postseason games. The ones that matter, the ones that are potential for national championships, they care a lot about. But if they don't have a chance at winning something, if it's just a plain old bowl game, they never seem to show up. What was that Sugar Bowl that they played? Was it Oklahoma? There's that famous video on YouTube about the woman in the stands at the Superdome, and she's so drunk. And Alabama lost that game. I can't remember. She, but again, they're like, well, we're not playing for a championship, so we don't really care.
Somebody was drunk at the Superdome? That's new.
Shocker, I know, right?
That's brand new information.
I've never heard of that happening.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, what was it? Early 2000s, 2009 or something like that, they lost to Utah.
Exactly.
And it was just like, who the fuck is that? Like, Utah beat them? And they were a good team that year.
That's what I'm saying. Like, a bowl game, sure, you could, back in the day before the playoffs, you could possibly see another team from a different conference for a bowl game. And then, again, if you're not playing for anything but just the title of the bowl, who cares? And I feel like that's a coaching thing, right? You've then programmed your guys to be like, well, we're gonna play our asses off as long as there's something writing on it. If there's nothing writing on it, you can just do whatever the hell you want to. To me, that's not coaching. And now with the playoffs, they're gonna have to start paying attention to every other team across the country because they're gonna end up playing them if they want to actually win something.
So I think that's the biggest thing that Alabama lost when Nick Saban retired was that he was better than maybe any other coach in college football at keeping his kids focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not looking beyond the next game and staying focused on the next game.
Right. Focusing on that 60 minutes that you're there for at that moment and being in that moment and being present. And then everything else falls into place after that. There was no focus for Alabama this year. It was all over the board, all over the place. There was no discipline. There was no focus. It was hard to watch Alabama this year.
Okay, just so everybody knows, I'm a good Alabama fan, as you've heard, because I said Alabama did not deserve to be in the playoffs. Tammy, on the other hand.
I'm a good Alabama fan.
Oh, my God. No, you're not.
I just am very passionate about Alabama.
I think the word you're looking for is rabid.
I wasn't this season.
She's already calling for the head coach of Alabama to get fired. So.
I know. He's had 1 year.
I know, right? And 9-3 is really not that bad a record. I mean, granted, that's a hard place to come into and, coach and not have a winning record. But,
I'm giving him a chance because during that bowl game, he got heated. And that was the first time throughout the season that he actually showed some real emotion and got really mad and was yelling and screaming. And I was like, that's what we need. We need someone who's going to be able to get in there and show these guys, I'm going to fight for you if you fight for me. Let's get our heads in the game and let's do what we need to do. The whole season, the whole season before that, he was just walking up and down the sidelines like an observer. Let's just see what happens today, guys.
Brad, you mentioned them going 9-3, which certainly is not by any stretch of the imagination a bad record. And if I'm being honest, it's better than I thought they were going to do this year.
Same. I thought they were going to be 500.
But I remember a couple of years ago, Alabama went 10-2, and everybody was screaming about that. And Nick Saban held a press conference, and he's like, we won 10 games this year. 10. On what planet is that not a good year? But because, Alabama fans have grown so accustomed to
there's the dog.
Alabama doing really well that when they don't, they poison 200-year-old oak trees.
Oh, my God. Was that the Auburn game that 1 year?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That was just
an
unfortunate situation with an unfortunate fan. There's
who
no
never
excuse
attended
for
the
that.
school.
I was saying, so I'm one of the good Alabama fans. If y'all hadn't figured it out, Baby Kangaroo is an LSU fan. And I think that it was, hey dogs, it was atrocious. Alabama does have the worst fans, and when Alabama beat LSU in the Superdome that one year, and the Alabama fan was teabagging the LSU guy when he was passed out or whatever it was, they should have locked that Alabama guy up in a room with no windows, soundproofed, and just let people go ham on that motherfucker. That was
uncalled for.
Yeah, that was sexual assault in all the definition, and that
Absolutely.
we have terrible fans
And horrible sportsmanship.
Yeah.
I'm all about sportsmanship. I'm all about respecting your players, respecting your opponents, respecting your opponent's fans. Like
Yeah.
everyone's going to have their team, right? There's no need to be ugly about it. This is all still at the end of the day a game.
Yeah, teabagging people, killing old trees. I mean, Alabama, we expect better of you, okay?
Oh, you know why he said he did it though, right?
The tree thing or the
Yeah,
teabagging?
the tree thing.
Oh, why?
Because somebody that was the year Cam Newton played for Auburn and they won a national championship.
Yeah.
Oh God.
And
Yeah.
he said he did it because somebody put a Cam Newton jersey on the statue of the bear.
and that was just whatever.
I don't see how that's an equal retaliation
Yeah.
type.
No, I'd
situation.
definitely say he raised things up a bit.
Yeah.
That sort of
Well, that escalated quickly.
Exactly.
Yeah, do better, Alabama fans. Jesus Christ.
I think just do better, all fans. Just respect each other. There's
Yeah.
no sense in doing anything retaliatory if it just because your team lost. Take the loss and move on.
Look, I'll be the first person to admit we have them at LSU too. I can remember going to an LSU Florida game at the Swamp, and the year
Rivals.
before,
Rivals.
Yeah, the year before. Well, I mean, before they changed things all around, that was LSU's annual East Conference opponent.
Yeah.
So I went to the game with my brothers, and LSU had beat Florida the year before, and there were all these LSU fans there, and they had signs and stuff that said "Spurrier is my bitch" and all this. And I'm thinking, you guys really shouldn't be talking all kinds of crap about that because this is the Swamp. This is a really hard place to play.
It is a really hard place.
And
to
as it
play.
turned out, LSU lost that game. So, you know, I don't talk trash about it. Although
This shit happens.
Brad and I do have a wager. By the way, I want the 9 points that they're giving Notre Dame.
I don't know about that. We didn't. That wasn't part of the agreement.
It's the line, bro.
Doesn't matter. When you make the bet, you got to bring it up then. What was it? $20? I got Ohio State.
Yeah.
Ohio State.
I'm not, I was talking to my brother about this when that line came out, and I don't argue with the broke nose guys in Vegas because I think that they get it right a whole lot more often than they get it wrong.
Oh yeah.
But I just don't see Ohio State beating Notre Dame by 9 points.
I really hope Notre Dame wins. I'm not a fan of Ohio State. Not saying anything bad about them. I just don't like them. But I really hope Notre Dame has really shown what they're made of and what they're capable of this year. And I'm impressed by them. I'm really impressed by them. And I actually do enjoy watching them. This year they were really, really good. I think Notre Dame does deserve to be there.
Well, yeah, they proved it. I mean, they only lost who did they lose to? Northern Illinois, I think
know.
it was.
Mhm.
Again,
Like
such a weird year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's that nil transfer portal stuff just happening. So
And now you can't, I mean, even if you recruit, it's not going to matter that you can recruit them to get into college and get them a scholarship, and then they can throw in their bid to go into the transfer portal and go somewhere else.
well,
That's college sports now.
Yeah.
all
I
right.
guess that's the way of things now.
So with the playoffs, are we happy with the way biased aside, are we happy with the way things transpired in the playoffs?
I mean, since I didn't have a dog in the fight, I don't,
That's why I said biased aside.
I
it
don't-
was
I don't like the bye weeks. I think that really threw the teams off because you're in a sport where you're playing a game every single week. And yeah, you might have a bye week, but then you're going right back into it. I feel like it took a lot for the teams this year to transition to that new style, which obviously is going to happen. And then hopefully everyone takes a look at this and they take something from it and they learn from it and they just make it better, which I can see it being better. but they need to learn from the little mistakes and the things that they did this year that may not have worked very well and come up with something better.
Well, there's next year, I guess. And with the teams, everybody's happy with the teams? I said biased aside, so stop. You know Alabama didn't deserve to be in there.
No, I know that, but I do feel like there might have been other teams that should have gotten in over some other teams. And again,
the
I
one
don't
that comes
know.
to mind right away for me is Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
Yeah.
I think, and nothing against SMU. They're a great team. They did great this year, but I feel like maybe Ole Miss deserved to be in it over SMU.
Yeah, but wasn't SMU a conference champion?
Really?
I don't recall. I'd have to look. Maybe. I don't know.
No, I think they lost. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think. I mean, see, that's why that whole conference champion thing. Like, that's just that needs to change because, like you said, everybody's playing an extra game if you're a conference champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know what the answer would be to make it all right, but I don't think SMU and I don't think Indiana should have been in there. I think Ole Miss would have easily whooped both of them. And of course, you know, Notre Dame beat Indiana 27-17 and SMU lost to Penn State 38-10. So I mean, dear God, I think there could have been anybody. Well, and Tennessee didn't deserve to be in there.
Well,
42
as
to
far
17.
as who did Michigan play in a bowl game? Do you know?
Alabama.
Oh, and they
Yeah,
okay.
And they won.
Yeah, they spanked us.
I'm not so sure that that's something you should dig on Alabama about that much. I mean, Michigan did beat Ohio State.
Yeah, they did, but that's
No.
that's
But
that
that's
Alabama
their-
Auburn thing, you know.
Yeah, that's their Super Bowl of the year. That's their main rival, right? Like
Yep.
Alabama Auburn or LSU Florida or Georgia and Georgia State. You know, things like that. Those are like the big games that you really
I
focus
think you
on.
mean Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech, yeah.
Oh, that's what I meant.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech.
I was thinking, I was like,
Because that was a good game. The Georgia Tech game was a phenomenal game. 4 overtimes. I mean, that was intense.
No, it was on the football field. It wasn't intense. Oh, is that not what you meant? Oh.
It was in stands.
All right. So I think the one game that stands out for me that was the absolute worst was that Ohio State Tennessee game.
Oh,
That was a mollywop.
yeah.
That was a good old shellacking. And Tennessee, I know Tennessee's got a young quarterback. I think he's a freshman. He's young. He's trying to get his things, but that was just embarrassing.
Yeah, because Tennessee was a good team this year. They played really well. And I'm not a Tennessee fan, but I still think that they played really well. They're always a great competitor. I also think the where these games are being played should be reevaluated. I don't think anyone in the playoffs should have necessarily a home field advantage.
Yep, I agree. Should be on neutral ground.
It should all be on neutral ground. I agree.
Then what's the reward for doing better than the other teams?
You advance.
What's the reward for being a conference champion? You play one more goddamn game.
There's
No, and
So-
I think that's the reason why they gave conference champions first round buys, because they did play one more game than, although that's not necessarily true, because Georgia played Texas in the SEC championship.
Yep.
Texas lost. So they played just as many games as Georgia did, and then Georgia got a 1 week bye.
Mm-hmm.
So it stands to reason that all the teams that played in the conference championship are probably going to be in the playoffs, and they're going to play one more game than all of the conference champions.
All right, here's the thing. What would you think about doing away with conference champions since we have college football playoffs?
I don't think the conferences are going to agree to that.
I know, but what would you think about that? Because I mean, that would
I wouldn't care.
that would eliminate everything.
It would, and honestly, now that we have the playoffs, I don't really care who's the conference champ, because now it's just going to be about whether your team gets into the playoffs or not.
Agreed.
Well, if you're going to do that, then they should go to 32 teams like the FCS schools. If you're going to get rid of the conference championship game, then they should go to 32 teams. Just the FCS does it. They don't have any problems doing it.
Well, I mean, there is that. There's an idea. Are you listening, NCAA?
And you just rank people based upon their regular performance in the year.
Yeah, there we go. We're going to do away with conference champions. That'll solve everything.
Well, I mean, you can still designate someone a conference champion based upon how they did in their conference.
Sure, just label them. That's all that we care. You don't need a championship game. Just you're the conference champion. There you go. You were the best one out of that one.
Well, I mean, that's what they did before they had conference championship games.
Yeah.
Do away with them then.
Yeah.
They don't even have to be 32 teams. You can just do the top 16.
Well, okay. The wrinkle with that is, let's talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room. This is all about money.
What?
I know. Shocker, right? So if you start taking away games, you're taking away revenue. And I had a conversation with someone, and that's what they said. They'll expand the playoffs to however many teams they think is appropriate to maximize revenue stream. So if the guys crunch the numbers and it says 16 is the magic number, then it'll be 16. If they crunch teams and they go, no, it's 20 with first 4 getting buys and 16 all playing, then it'll be 20. Whatever it is, the math geeks that crunch the dollars and cents come up with, that's where they're going to play. So, and that's cynical, and I know that, but I mean, that's just the reality of it.
Well, I think you had it right. It's going to be money. So, yeah, they'll never give that up.
There's a lot of money in college football.
Yeah, there is.
College sports in general, but college football specifically.
Yeah, I mean,
especially with the nil payments now, right? Like these guys are making a shit ton of money as college students playing college football, which is fine. More power to them because there's some great, great, great talent across the board, and they deserve it. If you can make it, make it. I'm not going to hate on anybody who's going to make themselves some money, but it does lead to advantages over other schools that may not have
as much money.
You know, okay, here's what I'm going to say about that. The highest paid NIL player for a number of years was a female gymnast. Let's face it. Gymnastics, not a big money-making
True
sport for college sports.
I think you can tell Rome's a fan of her.
Well, no, I'm just saying.
What's her name?
Olivia Dunn.
Oh, yeah.
Her boyfriend is Paul Skeens, that guy that I think he plays for Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
He's scary.
Yeah, he's a pitcher.
But my point is that
she's a catcher.
Wow.
in more ways than one.
I'm not even going to go there.
Oh, it's only because you're a fan.
I'm just talking about how she makes money because she has sponsorships.
Yeah.
That I don't know, and I would be lying if I said I know exactly how the schools coordinate do they seek out sponsors for certain athletes? In her case, I don't think that was the case because she was really kind of the one that was setting the bar in NIL before so many people were. I mean, now she's been passed up by
She's been passed up?
Yeah, there's somebody else is making more money than her every year now. I can't remember who it is, but there is somebody else who's making more. It might be Arch Manning, which is funny because the guy's not even starting. So
he's probably going to start next year. So I think Quinn Ewers, however you say his name, Ewers. I think he's out.
What, you think he's going to go pro?
That or he's going to transfer. I think there was rumors about him transferring to Notre Dame.
Was it? I
think it was.
I thought after that last game, I thought he did say that he was going to declare, but I don't know. I
maybe
can't
he
remember.
Did. But either way it goes, I mean, if he declares for the NFL, Arch is starting, so
yeah,
he finally gets his chance.
Yeah, don't get me started on the Manning family.
There's the dogs. Maybe we'll save that your hate rant for the Manning family.
We're going to need a whole podcast for it. It's going to take some time.
We're just going to have to be like, all right, Rome, you've been going off for the last 3 hours. You're cut off. We'll just drop his mic off.
You're done.
I'll make it short and sweet to the point.
Oh, that's funny. But yeah, worst. Okay, so yeah, the worst game was Tennessee. I am happy about. I'm glad they finally did something along the lines of nil because NCAA making it to where you can't make money off of yourself was bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Like whoever was running the NCAA should have been strung up beat for saying you can't make money off of your own self.
Yeah,
like that's That's capitalism.
Well, and that's the whole point of, the American dream. If you can make money, make money. There's no shame or blame in any of that.
Of all of the college athletes that you can think of that got roasted by that, who would you think is the one that probably deserved money the most? It's probably going to surprise you, the one that I'm thinking of.
Who's that?
Tim Tebow.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. I
The
agree.
University of Florida
yeah.
licensed all of him to EA Sports for Madden,
Yeah.
and he never got a penny.
Yeah.
Really?
I agree with that. I agree with that statement.
Jeez.
He deserved it. He's phenomenal talent across.
So all you athletes that are earning all this money on nil, maybe y'all ought to chip in a little bit to Tim Tebow.
I think he's doing fine.
Not
now.
that he needs it. I
Not
think his
that he
net
needs
worth
it
is
now.
like $70 million or something. But
But look, if I had that caliber of talent and I had the opportunity to make money off myself while I'm young and in great shape and can still handle it, hell yeah, I would be doing it too.
oh no, I don't begrudge them making money on it. I don't.
Let's
know?
see.
It's the American dream.
Right.
All right, they say Tim Tebow, just a quick Google search says Tim Tebow is worth about $5 million.
Yeah, that's not the correct number. He's making $6 million a year just from ESPN. So that was that. Yeah, I Googled that last night as well. But if you drill down into it, where they're talking about his ESPN contract, they say his net worth is $70 million.
Oh, here it is. Estimates of Tebow's net worth vary, ranging between $5 and $108 million.
Yeah, so if you
Yeah,
throw a dart and hit the middle,
That's a
Yeah.
5 and 108.
yeah,
That's kind of a wide range there.
yeah, and it would have been great for him back then because he was a great college quarterback.
Oh yeah.
But we all knew he was not going to transpire to an NFL caliber guy.
hey, he won a playoff game. He got real lucky.
I mean, that's fine. Did he play LSU that year? Is that what it was?
No. He won a playoff game in the
Oh,
in the
in
Pro
the
Bowl.
NFL.
Oh,
Didn't he play for the Dolphins?
Denver
Denver
Denver.
Broncos. Yeah,
Broncos.
Oh, that's
and then
right,
they
that's right.
wanted to sign.
Why did I think he played for Miami?
They signed Manning, and Eli said he's going. Just so you know,
Oh, Tim Tebow. Yeah,
I think Tim Tebow's doing okay.
yeah, he's doing just fine. He's a commentator for NFL, isn't he?
Correct. He is
Mhm.
under contract with
Mhm.
ESPN to cover SEC football games.
No, yeah, there he is. There's a lot of ex-college quarterbacks who are doing that stuff now. Because what was the Alabama guy? What's his name?
AJ? Is that McCarron?
No, the other one. He was on TV the other day.
Why am I not?
Well, that's because there's so many more games that are televised now
Well, that's true.
with
too, I guess.
streaming and everything.
Yeah.
You need a lot more talking heads to fill
Yeah.
the airwaves.
Well, and I will say that's another good thing about the college playoffs is it does give some exposure to some of those other great programs that you wouldn't normally get to see on TV.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Look, the one thing I like is that with streaming services, FCS schools, you can watch every single playoff game in the FCS program. And I know people are going to be like, North Dakota State.
Yeah, I said that.
Hey,
that
man,
day.
they want it just as bad as anybody plays at a D1 school. Maybe they can't play at a D1 school, but they want it just as bad.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, they've won like 9 national championships in the last 20 years or something. So
Didn't Montana State beat him the other day?
I think Montana State did beat them the other day. Yes.
Because I looked that up the next day after we had talked about it when we was eating, and I looked him up, and I think Montana State beat him.
But I mean, Alabama loses from time to time.
No, everybody loses.
you can't win them all.
You can't.
Mm-mm.
Alabama fans think they should.
That's a whole
Jeez.
other conversation.
That's a
isn't it?
different conversation.
Yeah, right.
We'll have to make that for another one.
We'll follow that up whenever you rant about the Mannings.
Okay, that's fair.
Oh man, yeah, we love talking about college football.
Well, I mean, we're from the South, and it's a big deal down here.
You
It
know,
is.
the other game that I didn't really enjoy at all was the SMU Penn State game.
Yeah, but you don't like Penn State.
I don't like no, I'm just saying because that was like what did that game end up?
Hang on, look. 38-10, and
Yeah.
I don't even think SMU scored until the fourth quarter when Penn State had their backups.
Like
in.
it's just boring, and even the commentators, you'll hear them. They made their little comments about let's hope the second round of games are a lot more interesting than the first.
Yep,
And as it turned out,
they were.
I mean, they were, but they weren't because all of the the conference champions lost.
Yeah,
But it was still exciting. The Texas Arizona game.
that was a good game.
Yeah, Texas came out of just busted out the barn door in the first quarter.
Well, you had a lot of people talking shit from the Arizona State group too. What was his name?
Oh, I don't remember. The running back guy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not smart.
Yeah, yeah, I don't agree with that. You
I
can
mean-
talk shit afterwards.
Texas is a big time program,
Yeah,
you know. And last time I checked, they have a lot more national championships than Arizona State does.
Yeah, Steve Sarkisian, he's a good coach too.
Yeah, I think Texas is. I mean, they're certainly not going to get any worse.
No,
The team that I was most surprised about this year actually was Oklahoma because they were so good last year.
Yep.
And this year they were.
Did they lose anybody between? Was it a big drop off between last year and this year?
You know, there must have been. I don't really follow Oklahoma football, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd have to go drill down into it and look, but they must have lost a lot of people. And I don't know if that's because of the portal or because they had guys that declared for the draft, but I was just really surprised because last year Texas and Oklahoma were neck and neck in terms of how good they were, and this year,
Yeah, I think what did Oklahoma end? They ended at 500, didn't they?
something like that. Yeah,
I think they didn't get over the hump until. No, I think they ended at.
they found a
500.
way to beat Alabama.
Yeah, absolutely.
this year wasn't hard to do.
No, it wasn't.
Y'all went 9-3.
No, it was a good season for Alabama. It's just I don't know. I'm with Tammy on this one. The coach doesn't have them as focused as they should be, and they're not thinking about the here and now kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe but I mean, he was supposed to have been, the next great hype
Yeah,
because he went. Where was he at? Oregon or somewhere?
Washington, I thought.
Washington? Maybe it was Washington. Yeah, Washington sounds right. And he was there, and they went undefeated
Mm-hmm.
or lost one game in 2 years. So I mean, he was supposed to be a good coach, but
It's the Pac-12,
yeah, and this
which now is the Pac-2.
they're-
But I think they've got commitments from 5 teams from the Mountain West to join the Pac-12. So,
so be the Pac-7.
well, the NCAA told them they had the requirement is that you have eight teams to have a conference, and they gave them a 2-year waiver to try and get back to 8 teams.
Oh, okay.
So, and they've had 5 commitments, I believe, from the
Okay.
Mountain West
Okay.
to move into the Pac-12. So they'll find the teams they need to keep the Pac-12 constituted. What'll be interesting to see is what happens to the money because all the teams
Oh,
that
yeah.
ran away from the Pac-12,
Left it there.
well, they don't have any choice.
Yeah, they left it. They left everything. Money. And didn't you say the equipment and everything too? Anything related to the Pac-12 they had to
I
leave
think
alone?
it was just
Was it money?
the money. There are 2 things that they had to leave behind: the money and obviously the television contract. And the money is the big deal, and they shot themselves in the foot when it comes to that because there were 2 teams that left the Pac-12, and I'd have to look up everybody who it was, but there were the teams that had not bailed yet voted to say, no, you don't get any money when you leave. All of them said that. And then they decided they all wanted to leave. And they're like, yeah, we want our money. And the 2 teams that were staying, they're like, no, we're still the Pac-12, even though you left. You voted to say they don't get any money when they leave, so you don't get any money when you leave. And the teams that were leaving sued. And I don't know what's going on with that, but I suspect the judge is going to say, you set the rules before you left.
Yep.
So pound sand, dude,
That's
as they
what-
should.
That's yeah, I agree. That's what it's going to wind up being. But
I don't like it when, like I still don't understand exactly why Texas and Oklahoma left. What were they, Big 12 to come into the SEC?
Yeah, I think so.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, everybody wants to be in the SEC. 'Cause, I mean,
I don't think the SEC is going to be quite as dominant anymore.
nope.
Thank you, Portal.
Yeah, we're going to finally start giving everybody their chance. But that's all right. There's an SEC. Well, no, Texas lost. Y'all had to lose to Ohio State. Thanks, Texas. I expected better of you.
Well, Tammy was being nice when she said she's not an Ohio State fan. I hate Ohio State. That being said, Ohio State is a very good football team this
Yeah.
year.
I only hate them because they beat Alabama a couple of times, and when that rivalry was big, because they both kept going to the championship games. So that was the only thing. But
That might have been who they were playing in that game in the Super Bowl when that lady got caught on film being so drunk.
you're going to have to look it up and show me.
And the reason why I say that is because they both wear crimson.
Yeah.
And it was really confusing when I was watching that video. 'Cause I'm like,
They're all red.
Is that an Ohio State fan or an Alabama fan?
I don't. Who's starting shit? I can't tell. I mean, are they Ohio State or are they Alabama? And then it turns out that it was a drunk girl from Alabama.
Hey, that would be a fun game. Make everybody wear the same colors. Everybody put on red and see if you can figure it out.
See, figure
Who
it
I
out.
block, coach?
Well, that's yeah, but is it not Boise. Is it? Yeah, is it Boise State?
God,
the Smurf Field.
I fucking
Yeah.
hate it. Oh God, I
Yeah.
hate it. And there was something about that too, where they were like, "You're grandfathered in, but if you ever change or something,
Yeah, they got to go to green.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're never gonna fucking change it just so they can be different." But I can't watch it. Even if Alabama played them, I would not watch that game on that field. It's too much.
I read something years ago, and the coaches that like when they break down the games to try and figure out how they're going to scheme against Boise State at home, they say it's really, really hard because Boise State always wears blue at home on a blue field.
Yeah.
And so when you're watching the game to try and figure out blocking schemes and who's tagging who, they said it's a real pain in the butt.
Really?
Like a real pain in the butt figuring out all the schemes. And I'm sure Boise State, that's one of the reasons why they
they
haven't
do it.
changed it.
Well, and that's another one. Boise State, where did they come from and why were they in? Like, I don't think they were that impressive. I mean, they're not a bad team, don't get me wrong. Don't hate on me, Boise State fans, but I don't think that they should have been in there. I think, again, there's another thing to say, maybe Ole Miss should have been in there above them.
But, well, I don't know where Boise State, I don't know if they won their conference or I don't even know what conference they're in.
Mountain West.
So they're a group of 5 team. They're not a Power 5 team.
Let's see if they beat anybody.
So the way that the playoffs are structured is all Power 5 conference champions are guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. And then one group of 5 team is guaranteed a spot in the playoffs. And then if Notre Dame is ranked in the top 12, they're guaranteed a spot in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Which is funny because if you start breaking it down, then that means that there are 7 teams if Notre Dame is ranked in the top 12 that are guaranteed spots in the playoffs, which means there's really only 5 spots available.
Do away with conference champions.
Well, I mean,
and what incentive does being a conference champ have? I mean, if the bracket's already been set and you go play the conference championship game, let's say whoever's in the top 12, let's say, for instance, if I don't even know how I would explain this, but if one of the teams is already set to go in the top 12 and they're playing another team from their conference that's not even in the top 12 for the conference champions and they lose, what does that do? Did that even come into...
oh no, the bracket's not set until after the conference championship games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
no.
it had some weight in how the bracket...
Yes and
ended
no. I feel like the only way that it really impacted it was who's going to get the first round buys.
Oh, okay.
Because like if Texas has won the SEC championship, Georgia would have still been in, but Texas would have gotten the first round bye instead of Georgia. Who did Oregon beat in their conference championship to?
Washington?
I'd have to look. Let me see. I'm gonna go back real quick since we were talking about Boise State. So they lost to Oregon 37-34.
Which I mean, Oregon was a very good football team.
Yeah, but they played Georgia Southern, Portland State, Washington State, Utah State, Hawaii, UNLV, San Diego State, Nevada, San Jose State, Wyoming, Oregon State again, and UNLV, and then lost to Penn State again.
Wait, you said they played Oregon and then Oregon State.
Correct.
Okay, because there's 2 different teams.
Yeah, Oregon,
Okay.
Oregon State. Yeah. And what teams you just asked about? Who did?
Oh, who did Oregon beat in their conference championship to get to the playoffs and secure their first round bye?
Boise, wasn't it?
Was it?
Oh, Penn State. They beat Penn State December 7th.
So that's right. So Oregon's in the Big Ten.
Big something. Big 10. Yeah, they're in the Big 10.
And Penn State made it in. So yeah, so that, to your point, that's the only thing that would have different. Both those teams would have gotten in if Penn State had beaten Oregon. It just would have meant that Penn State got the first round bye instead of Oregon getting the first round bye. So the structure probably wouldn't have changed very much.
But what happens if the SEC championship comes down to a 10-0 team, and they face a 500 team, and then they get lucky and beat the 11-0 team,
Right.
they're in the fucking playoffs, and that's bullshit.
Yep.
And that's bullshit.
Right.
Just
Well-
do away with the conferences. Just do away with the conference champions. And just make it label.
I mean, that's what happened this year with Clemson, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they were at best an average team this year.
Yep.
But they found a way to win in the conference championship. They beat Miami.
And it got them in.
Yeah.
I think it was Miami.
Yeah, it was Miami.
Yeah.
Because Miami was the favorite, if I remember correctly.
Well, when we all thought Miami was pretty good.
Yeah.
So
They
were
came out.
good.
They came out of the gate good this year. Everybody was like, "Oh, we better be paying attention to Miami this year. They're looking good." And then all of a sudden, it was like, "Are they?"
They did good.
yeah, I feel like, they were a very good team.
Yeah.
They couldn't close it out. That was, and I'm a fan of the U, so I lived down there for a long time.
And their quarterback's leaving too.
Well, yeah, and Carson
What?
Beck's going.
Yeah. What was? Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I know, but I mean, the Cam something. Miami's quarterback's leaving. Cam Ward. Is that right?
To the NFL.
Yeah. That's the reason they wanted
I think
Carson
that's
Beck.
the reason why they wanted Beck.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, I know they
Cam
had a
Ward.
good quarterback.
Cam Ward, I think it was. Yeah, he
I'm
declared.
looking.
I'm surprised you don't know.
Yes, Cam Ward.
Yeah. He played real good.
I thought they were a good team. But there's going to be a lot more parity in college football now because of the portal.
I'm gonna throw in a side note real quick, see what you think about it. What do you think about Deion Sanders' team?
Colorado State.
What do I think? I think that they were a good team, but they don't deserve all the hype they get.
I don't think they do either.
And
Oh, how about
Didn't his guy win the Heisman?
no, Shador. Oh, well, I take that back. Yes, somebody
Yeah.
from the team won the Heisman. I can't remember the kid's name. He's very talented.
Yep.
But Dion was lobbying for his son, which was ridiculous because his son is a decent quarterback. He's not the best quarterback in the country by any stretch of the imagination.
The kid that won the Heisman, he played offense and defense.
Correct. He played both ways.
And I think it's funny hearing Deion Sanders rant and rave. He's like, whatever NFL team takes him, better let that boy play both sides.
Nobody plays both sides in the NFL.
I mean, I agree. Nor should they. But I mean, what did he play? Wide receiver and cornerback or something?
Yes, I believe it was
it's
something like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing.
Well, except that defensive backs don't have to catch the ball.
Just knock it down.
Correct. Well, I mean, ideally they'd like them to catch the ball, but that's not. They don't train them to catch the ball. They train them to make sure that the offensive player doesn't catch the ball.
Well, at least he, as a wide receiver, he knows how to counter that.
Yep.
So,
It'll be interesting to see whether or not he plays defensive back or whether he plays wide receiver.
yeah, it's probably going to be wide receiver.
But that's gonna
got
be
good
another
hands.
shakeup too next year. Is all these great players that have declared for the NFL are going to be gone, which I know that happens every year, but I feel like this year maybe more because of the hype of all the other schools, because of all of the other because of the college football playoffs. All of these other schools that may not have gotten the notoriety or the chance to be on air, to be seen, are now getting seen.
Well, I mean, that's the nature of televised sports now. I mean, even small schools are going to have. And that might be what happens is that players that would go to a Florida, an LSU, an Alabama, and maybe be a second string guy for a couple of years to a starter and be content with that are going to go, well, I can go be on TV right away playing for Boise State.
Yeah.
Playing for North Montana State.
Yep. Who was the team we talked about earlier in the season that paid that smaller team to come there and play them, and then they got beat?
Oh,
Who was that?
Oh God.
I remember having the conversation. I don't remember who it was, but yeah, it's such a farce because, like you and I were talking about, I think they should make them write out a giant check and present it in the middle of the field and say,
yes,
you paid us a lot of money to come here and kick your ass.
I really think that should be the thing. If I pay you to come play us just so you can get some screen time and the small team wins, yep, everybody should be forced to walk out and shake everybody's hand. And then the big check in the middle.
Well,
Have the
Utah
coach
did that a number of times. Utah beat a lot of Power 5 teams, and to the point where teams were like, "Well, we're not going to schedule Utah anymore because they clearly are a very good football team."
Oh man,
I think that was when the quitter was coaching them.
oh yeah.
That's Urban Meyer for anybody who doesn't know.
Yeah. How many teams did he coach for?
Well, he only coaches as long as it is until his belly hurts, and then he's, oh no, I gotta go.
I need to go somewhere else.
Was it Florida, Ohio State?
Well, he coached Utah, then Florida, then Ohio State.
State,
Yeah. Well, that was where he's head coach. I don't know where he was.
Wasn't he at Auburn for a brief time? Or no?
If he was, it was an assistant. He wasn't a head coach.
He wasn't
there.
a head coach. Why do I feel like he was in Auburn for some reason?
I don't know. He probably wasn't. I just know that he was coaching against Nick Saban about that span when Alabama and Ohio State kept going.
Oh yeah.
That was a big thing.
We coached against Saban from two teams.
Oh yeah, Florida
and Ohio State.
Yeah. That was when Tebow was there, wasn't it? I think that was Tebow.
Think so,
I think
yes.
that was the Tebow years.
Yeah. I think it was
Yeah.
the Tebow years.
If not, we're just throwing out random things that we think are true.
Yeah, fact check. We're fake news network here.
Prove us wrong.
Fake news network.
I'm okay with being wrong.
I'm okay with being wrong too. It's fine.
I'm not.
No.
You should probably come to terms with that because you're wrong a lot.
Nope. You're wrong for saying that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. Well, we could probably talk for 3 hours on college football. So we're going to go ahead and talk about another topic that actually goes well with college football. Since you hear us rant and rave about it, you hear Baby Kangaroo wanting to rant about the Manning family, we're going to move to mental health and therapy. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this is because military backgrounds for everybody. And honestly, the Apple show's Shrinking. So if you haven't seen Shrinking, I think you should. It kind of helped. It made me want to go, to hurry up and go see my therapist. So that was one of the reasons I want to talk about it because
That's because you're nuts.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm not off my rocker, but yeah. So we're going to start off with there's a difference between therapist and psychiatrist because I never really paid it any attention. I was just like, therapy's therapy, whatever. And I didn't really pay attention to who or what it was. But a therapist is one who you go and talk about your problems and try to get things off your chest and help you think differently. And a psychiatrist, the only difference is they give you drugs. So I'm not really opposed to medication to try to help with some things. I don't really like it. I like the idea of trying to do therapy to get your head right and be able to label some of the difficulties and things that you might be going through. So therapy first, psychiatry second, which my therapist did say. Last time I went and seen her, she was like, I want you to see our psychiatry people so we can get you some meds. And I was like, well, thanks. I haven't called her back yet, so I don't know. I don't want to do meds.
I mean, I think there's also a huge
You should
difference
be on
because
meds.
there are some people out there who have legit issues that do require medication in order for them to be stable. But
the brain chemical imbalance kind of thing.
And it's a legit thing. But I do believe in therapy because it is more of a behavioral type science where you can go in and you're going to modify. You may have a stigma about something that you're doing or something that somebody does. And therapy can help work you through that to see it differently in a different perspective, because there's a million perspectives to see everything.
Yeah. And I agree with that because, I mean, talking to my therapist, a couple of things, it helped put things in perspective for me. I was like, oh, snap, that's it. Shit. Well, I never thought of it that way. And it even helped, like some of my OCD things that I feel that I do, and I was telling her about it. She was able to, and I don't even remember what it was because I can't remember everything, so I'm getting old. But I was able to associate my OCD with certain things, and I was like, oh, snap, that works. So maybe labeling things helps people understand themselves a little better.
Well, I've seen both, and I can tell you I wouldn't be able to tell you the difference between a therapist
and a psychiatrist.
For the ones that I've seen.
I mean, psychiatrists still try to do behavioral things, and they still do, the same things that therapists
Good
do.
psychiatrists do.
Right.
Yeah.
But then psychiatrists have that extra layer of, okay, well, I see maybe we're working on this, but maybe something that will really get us to the end goal, to the end game is let's get you on this medication. And it's nothing that you have to take for the rest of your life, right? It's meant to be temporary, unless you are that group of people who really do need that medication to actually function everyday life. But,
the disorder that comes to mind right away for me is bipolar.
and schizophrenia, stuff like that.
There's no amount of behavioral conditioning that will make those,
Absolutely
things like
not.
that.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. If people have it, I'm sorry, it's a struggle. But that's what the medications are there for, to help with. Anything else, I believe, could be temporary.
Yeah.
And it's just enough to get you to where your mind has now evolved in a different way, and you're able to see it in a different way, and you're not getting in your own way.
Yeah. And just so everybody knows, we're not therapists. We're just we're talking, this is an opinionated thing. So we're just telling you about our experiences. And, one of the things that made me want to talk about this also was, one of the guys that we work with, Mike, he made the comment the other day whenever he was like, I'm fine. I don't need to go to therapy. Fuck that shit. And I was thinking to myself, it's like, I think Tammy made the analogy. It's like being on, like if you go have surgery and you're on pain meds, you take the pain meds before the pain gets there to make sure you're in front of it. And I think therapy is that same way. I could have been like, sure, Mike, you don't have any problems right now. That doesn't mean as you get older, it won't become a problem, because I didn't have anxiety or PTSD or anything before a certain tour in my career, and then all these things started manifesting. So it's like,
you can go ahead and say it. It was the big white one.
I fucking hate that boat. I'm so glad. Oh, I was
Well, it's
hoping
gone now, so
yeah, I was hoping they was going to make a reef out of it, because if they'd have made a reef out of that fucking thing, I'd have went out there and
You'd learn to scuba dive?
I'd have shit all over it. I'd have shit and fucking been happy to boom. I'll blow that bitch up. Fuck that goddamn boat. Oh, that's got me fucking heated now. Where's the Tylenol?
unchecked rage when it comes to that ship.
Oh, yeah, I do. But yeah, it's just trying to be in front of things. So, I mean, like I said, you might not even know that you've got something wrong with you until you talk to somebody. And most of the time, we just want to be heard, just, hey, I want to piss and moan and help me think about this differently, because, we can talk as friends, and we talk all the fucking time. And if you just come over to me and you're like, man, I want to fucking rant, I'm going to be like, sure, go ahead. And then you rant, and I'm like, I agree, bro. Versus a therapist is going to be like, well, have you thought of it this way? Because, we're friends, so we just kind of vent to each other about
And
stupid
banter.
Yeah.
Oh, I did that a lot for a number of years.
Well, and not just that, but somebody who's close to you like that, if they were to present to you and say, hey, what about if you thought about it this way? They might think that they might take it personal, or they might take it like, oh, you're wanting to argue with me and you're not listening to me. Well, then you go to therapy and the therapist says it to you, and it's more of a patient-doctor kind of relationship.
You've already got the mentality there beforehand.
You're not going to get so emotionally pissed off if somebody was like, I have a difference of opinion than you do.
Yeah. And oh man. Oh, so I want to make this comment. It was, if any of you out there wind up going to therapy, remember you're evaluating them as much as they are you.
Yes.
I had my first therapist was fucking terrible. She always wanted to, I don't remember what she fucking wanted, but I showed up one day and she was like 15 minutes late. And when she got there, she came in with like a food cup. So she had obviously went to lunch, and she's like, hey, what are you doing here? And I was like, we had an appointment that started 15, 20 minutes ago. What the fuck do you mean? And that was the last time I ever went and saw her. So she was bullshit. And sometimes it does take
A few.
It takes, I mean, it's going to take more, frequent visits in the very beginning, and then you can kind of slack off a little bit. But I mean, you've got to something has to click between you and your therapist.
Yes.
You got to have that click. And
You've got to have that rapport and that respect.
Yeah.
And like he said, you're evaluating them just as much as they're evaluating you. And if you don't know that going in, then you really should research and understand what you're getting yourself into. But I think nowadays mental health is huge, and just kind of tying sports into that. I think all sports athletes, coaches, anyone in any kind of sports program, there needs to be mental health. That needs to be huge. I mean, look at what happened in the Olympics with Simone Biles. That was huge. And it was, I think it's extremely important that you have mental health as a top priority for all of these athletes.
I mean, they get a case of the yips.
That's Ted Lasso.
Yeah,
friends.
that was, and look, it worked. It worked on. I mean, I know it's just
Actually,
a TV show, but
that was before Ted Lasso.
Yeah, but that's what kind
It's from Tin Cup.
Yeah, but it made
whatever.
more famous. The younger people that listen to this probably have never seen Tin Cup.
I probably have never even heard of it.
You're missing an outstanding movie.
It is a very
Go to
great
work
movie.
and ask all the JOs if they've ever seen Tin Cup. They're gonna be like,
I
"What's
feel
that?"
certain all those kids have not.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, is that the same as a plastic cup?
I got a tin cup right here. Not the same thing. Yeah, good old case of the yips. That was funny. Yeah, watch Ted Lasso too. Those are two great shows. Ted Lasso and Shrinking.
Yeah.
They're feel good shows, which we don't have a lot of nowadays.
Mm-mm. But again, I think that a lot of it now, there's more stuff out there about mental health and people taking their mental health more seriously.
Agreed.
And
Well, I
there's
think the
nothing wrong
stigma-
with that. And I think that people really should pay attention to their own mental health.
The stigma of seeking help is going away.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, geez, mental health. I think last time we did the podcast, we had what happened in the last podcast?
We talked about stuff.
No, but there was an incident that happened. Was that the New Orleans thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy should have been seeking help too.
He should have. He probably would have benefited from therapy for sure. 100%.
I think that y'all are drawing a correlation that doesn't exist.
You just think
He got radicalized.
yeah, but I mean, therapy may have helped that.
Well,
And like
he was seeking out someone to listen to him, and it just happened to be the wrong group of people. So
Yeah. Maybe if he would have found a therapist, maybe it would have changed. I don't know. We'll never know.
we'll never know.
Yeah.
he was a weak-willed person who was easily manipulated by others.
Yeah. Well, I bet
Darwinism at its best.
I bet you he regrets it now.
Well,
Wait a minute. It's not 72 virgins. It's 72 Virginians. Oh, I done fucked up.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
but
like Jeff Dunham said. Maybe those are your 72 virgins. And Ahmed said, I hope not. There's a lot of dudes out there.
probably could have had that a little louder, but that's fine. Oh well.
It's still a work in progress figuring out the mixing board.
Oh yeah, I'm having fun. Yeah. So I think you just made a mention of it though. You said the stigma's there, and I'm glad that it's going away. I'm glad that people are reaching out now, and if anybody's listening to this and you're in the military, just know that it doesn't affect your clearance. If you go to a therapist or something like that, it doesn't affect your clearance at all. It's just you're looking for help. If you get committed, then that might affect your clearance.
But then again, if you get to that stage, I don't think you should have a clearance anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not going to affect anything. It's just, it's just there to help you. It's help to understand things different because we all get stuck in our ways. I think you made a mention of that.
And who doesn't want to be a better person? You've got one life. Why not try to make the best of it and become a better person?
Agreed.
I'm perfectly happy hating everyone. I don't see anything wrong with it.
And you made the comment that I needed to be on meds. How angry were you when I first met you?
Oh,
if we're being fair, there was an extraneous input as a result of that.
You hear the tone in his voice change. You got a little more angry. You know what happened in your life? Why were you so angry? Tell me. I want everybody to hear it. I want you to say it is what I want you to do.
I was betrayed by someone.
Betrayal.
And I don't want to go into details, but yes, it was.
I think your favorite line is, "She kicked me to the curb."
Well, that's exactly what she did. Yes.
I think you're better off for it.
I do too.
You had a great 20 years.
I think you're,
and plus,
and now you're free.
I think you learn something from it. You know, every
never trust people.
Every situation that you go through, even bad, good, or indifferent, you have a choice, right? You have a choice to learn from it and grow from it, or you can be bitter and angry and, you know, take that anger into every other relationship, every other situation, every other, you know, thing that happens in your life and make it miserable, or you can learn from it, grow from it, change from it.
I chose to take all that white hot rage and condense it down into a really tight ball and just shove it down really
Push it
deep
way, way down.
and then just let it simmer. But I'm not angry.
Therapy. Something in my throat.
What was it? One of my favorite quotes is, "Change is inevitable, growth is optional."
Yeah, that works.
Change is the only constant.
Exactly. So you can either grow with it, change with it, become a better person, or you can
Hey, I got
Or just
better.
stay drunk all the time.
stay
Fuck
hate.
it.
I'm not nearly as angry as I used to be.
No,
No,
you're
you're
not. You are actually one of my favorite people in this world.
Therapy animals.
100%
Dogs.
on support with that. I don't even
Dogs.
care if it's a dog, if it's a cat, if it's a ferret. If it helps you,
Dogs.
I'm all for it. 100%.
Reptiles aren't therapy animals.
Animals have
Dogs
just this innate instinct to help you in any kind of emotional situation.
Yeah, we're getting our second dog here pretty soon, and we've all talked about this before, and they know my opinion on it. But I got my dog, and it helped me a lot, and I love her so much. I got to have something to cycle through when she goes. She's only 4; she just turned 4, but life expectancies for labs are 10 to 12 years. So I
She'll
wanted
make it 20.
So I wanted a halfway point. So we got
You know, denial's not just a river in Egypt.
Yeah, so I'm a big proponent for therapy dogs. I mean, you got a lot happier when you got your dog.
That's because he's awesome.
Yeah, he hugs. I've never seen a dog hug people, but he hugs.
I mean, I bought my
everybody.
house, and a couple of months later, I got my dog, and it went a long way towards
Happiness,
Happiness.
mental health.
Your own mental
letting
health.
me work,
Yeah.
move forward in my life, put the past behind me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and he learned from it. So yeah, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I mean, and that
never
goes in
trust women.
it goes in all courses, whether it be your profession, your personal. I mean, there's going to be shit that happens all the time throughout the course of your life, and it's, you know, you got to grow, you got to learn from it, become a better person.
Yeah. Be better, do better. All right. All right. So here's for all you listeners. We got to talking. We was trying to figure out what to do with the next podcast. And the next podcast episode is going to be Drunken, Pawn Shop of Life. And Baby Kangaroo over here made the comment that we were talking about Power Hour. I've met very few people who can make Power Hour with me. And if you don't know what Power Hour is, it is one shot of beer every minute for an hour. Mind you, I don't condone, don't be an alcoholic, certainly don't drink and drive, all that good stuff to make sure we're covered. But one shot.
Don't drink underage.
Yeah. Yeah, but one shot of beer. For,
Like we all did.
for you drank underage?
I'm not saying I didn't do it. Doesn't mean I'm promoting it.
Yeah, we can't promote it.
Do as I say, don't do as I do.
There you go.
Now, there you can tell how old we are from saying shit like that. My parents said the same thing. But yeah, so we're going to do Drunken Pawn Shop of Life. It's going to be a Power Hour kind of thing. So you're going to have to listen to us talk shit for at least an hour. It may get sloppy. I don't know. So with that said, if you want to listen to that, it's going to be interesting.
And then you can also do your own power hour while you listen to it.
Ooh, that would be
And
funny.
then the content might actually get funnier because you're just as drunk as we are.
Brad didn't explain what Power Hour is. Shot of beer every minute
For an hour.
That's what he said.
Oh, did you say that?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I finally got it out. We just kept getting sidetracked.
So what that boils down to is, what did we decide? It's 8 beers in an hour?
About 8 beers in an hour.
Yeah.
Which is a lot in 1 hour. Typically, you have maybe 2 or 3 in an hour.
It's fun at first because you're
Really?
like, it's
Yeah.
fun.
That's what you limit yourself to?
Well, it's just how much. Now, listen, I won't be doing power hour. I'll just be,
Pointing and giggling.
I'll be pointing and giggling. I'll have my own drink, and I may take a sip of my drink every 4 or 5 of theirs. It doesn't take me as much to get drunk.
Yeah, the first few minutes is going to be fun. That's for sure. But after that, you're just like, oh, God, I can't drink anymore. It's way up here in
You
my
get
stomach.
full, and
Yeah, you get full before anything.
you want to make sure you eat before, which then doesn't leave a lot of room for 80 ounces of beer in your stomach.
That is going to be an interesting.
I might be sleeping here that night.
Got an extra bedroom.
Yeah. Put some fresh sheets on for you.
Or Ubering home.
Uber. You can call your girlfriend. You going to call your girlfriend?
Pretty sure I don't have a girlfriend.
You going to call your girlfriend?
Yeah, pretty sure I don't have a girlfriend.
What do you call her?
My friend?
Oh.
That's a girl.
Yes.
He sounds like Sheldon. Yes, I have a girl that is a friend. She is not my girlfriend, and she becomes his wife.
Yep.
So, you know.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say we're not anything close to that point yet.
No,
I mean,
it's-
it took them 8 years, 9
Especially
years.
since I'm never getting married again.
Yeah, it did take them 8 years or 8 seasons or some shit. We'll see about that in 8 years. Not married. I don't think you get married again, but y'all will label it sooner or later. All right.
I think you're putting that cart way before the horse.
All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to call this. We've been about an hour and 11 minutes. So we're going to do what we always do. We're going to play the outro music, and then we're going to sit around and talk shit for a minute. So if you want to stick around and listen to that, you can.
And I'm going to make a drink.
If you're leaving out here now, I appreciate you listening. We'll see you on the next episode of Pawn Shop of Life, and it will be the drunken one.
Thanks, y'all.
Peace out.
All right. Here's the, what do we call this?
Happy hour.
Happy hour. Here's happy hour. All right. So how did y'all like the topics? Y'all like talking about that?
Oh no. Look, we're both from the South, so of course we always talk about college football.
Oh, yeah.
Although now I'm beginning to think that I'm going to view college athletes exactly the same as I view pro athletes, as a bunch of overpaid prima donna assholes. So,
I'm not saying you're wrong, but I mean, that's, I don't know. I feel
it's
like
the nature of the beast.
I
It's
feel
a
like it
business.
I feel like it should be a cap of some sort. Like, yeah, the transfer portal fucked up stuff more than nil payment.
I agree. I think the transfer portal did change things more than nil did, but both of them fundamentally changed college sports.
Do you think it would have even changed had they allowed the athletes to actually make money off of themselves? I don't think it would have been that big a deal, and I don't think it would have went through this drastic fucked up change had they just been like, hey, baby kangaroo, you can make money off yourself. Go ahead.
Yeah, it probably, if that alone had been the case, then it probably would not have changed things nearly as much as the portal did.
Yeah.
And because now, to be fair, though, the portal, there were always students transferring schools. Perfect example, Joe Burrow at LSU. He finished his degree in 3 years. He had 2 years of eligibility left because he redshirted 1 year. And I don't know all the circumstances around it, but he left Ohio State and started playing for LSU. So, I mean, Russell Wilson did the exact same thing. I think he was at North Carolina State and he wanted to pursue an advanced degree, and he asked for a scholarship from NC State, and they said, yeah, no, we're not going to give you another scholarship. And he's like, okay.
Really?
Yeah, and he left. I know.
I did not know that.
He transferred. I can't remember what school he transferred to. They're like, yeah, come on, Russell. We'll give you a scholarship.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, and he's arguably, I say that he's getting long in the tooth. He's 36.
Well, yeah, that's old for
a college. I mean, for an NFL quarterback.
Yeah.
Especially a dual threat NFL quarterback.
yeah. Is he really a dual threat though?
He was originally. I don't think he's as
Yeah,
much of a dual threat.
He's not anymore.
In the game last night, Lamar Jackson looked like a lot more of a dual threat than he did. I was only watching it because I was at my sister's house, and
Oh.
my siblings love sports of any kind. So,
Which we actually got to meet some of your siblings a couple days ago, and I have to say,
Yeah.
your family is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, they were funny.
They were awesome.
they're a little off the hook. That's for sure.
I want to be included on all of your family functions.
Okay. Well, come spring, I think I'm going to buy a new crawfish pot and
Hell yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
start having things there.
Crawfish
Fuck yeah.
boils. Mm.
Let's do it.
Go for some good
I'm going to
crawfish.
get a big
Let's
crawfish
do
pot.
it. 100 quart.
Bigger, 120, I think.
Good Lord.
Well, you can do a whole
can do-
sack.
Yeah, you can do a sack in 100.
You can't do a big sack in 100.
Can't?
No.
Mm.
You start getting a 35, 36 pound sack, you can't really do. It's too crowded. You need the water to be able to move around a little more.
Stainless or aluminum?
Well, considering I'm getting old, I'm not as strong as I once was. It's going to be aluminum.
Oh, okay.
A stainless 120 quart.
You only have to set it up once.
Okay.
Just cover it, never move it.
You know you're going to fill it with water, right?
Just never move it.
Just never move it.
Just
How are
never move it.
you going to clean it out?
You don't. It's like cast iron. It's just
Well,
seasoned.
just let the
It's
seasoning sit there.
Well,
They make them with little drain plugs on them, don't they?
yeah, it would make sense that they would. You're right, because 120 quart pots, what is that? For 30 gallons?
Jeez.
So that's 240 pounds of water in it.
I was told there would be no math.
I know, right? Bring
That
out the
was
phone.
rough, but yeah. 8 pounds a gallon, right?
I could see the
About
gears
7.
turning in your head.
Smoke.
Fact check that number, please.
Yeah, smoke boiling out his fucking ears. It's like, I
I
don't know
mean-
how to do this.
When I had 100 quart, back when I was married, she still has it, I'm sure, somewhere.
It's in a
Um,
storage, Alabama.
She threw it away.
Fucking bitch.
she might have, who knows, or she gave it to her boyfriend or whatever.
Fucking bitch.
I can remember doing everything myself, thinking, wow, this is a really bad idea, toting this thing around. So here's the deal. When I buy another crawfish pot, you're going to have to help me when I boil crawfish, because I'm not trying to manhandle a 120 quart pot around.
And I'm totally okay with that because I need to learn how to cook crawfish.
It's not hard.
It's go around to my neighbor's houses and knock on the door and ask 5 people who are going to tell you 5 different things.
Sure they will. I agree.
Yeah, I think everyone's got their own little spin on how they cook crawfish. As long as it's spicy and you've got corn and potatoes, I'm good.
And sausage.
Yeah. Do you put any? You put anything else in it besides what is a lemon? A bit fruit?
Yes.
Lemons and fruit. Did you put anything fruity in it besides lemons?
No, lemons are it.
Okay. Because I was going to say the 2 doors down neighbor. I think he put in oranges and lemons and a couple other things.
Well,
Mhm.
They make like a vegetable soup or a fruit soup of some sort with crawfish flavoring.
Yeah, oranges are just going to add a little sweetness to it. Which, sweet and hot is
I feel
not a
like-
bad
I
combination.
feel like
No.
lemons are probably the only appropriate fruit to put in
And
crawfish.
that's all I was taught to do.
Yeah.
Do you hose them out or wash them out or let them clean the poop chute out?
Man, there's so much controversy about that, isn't there?
I don't
That's why
I don't eat it.
asked.
I pull that off. When I peel
Oh.
mine, I pull that off.
No, but I mean, it's people argue about you don't have to flush the crawfish out. Some people will just put like my next door neighbor. He actually puts them in that big ass cooler and then sits water in it and
Yeah.
then drains it off like three
Three
separate times.
3 times.
That's what I
Yeah.
do.
And then some people say they put salt in it to make them poop.
Yeah, that's a myth.
Yeah, that's,
I mean, they're already dead. How are they
No,
gonna
they're not.
no, you can't.
Oh,
No,
They're
you don't.
still alive when you do that.
Yes.
Yeah, you don't cook.
I've never seen the process of doing a crawfish bowl. I usually just go to Kenny Seafood down the street, get 15 pounds.
And that's a simple way to go about it.
It
And Kenny's
is.
does real good crawfish. So
They do
I mean,
a
you're
really
not-
good
You're
crawfish.
not missing out on much by them doing it,
No, they're fucking Kenny's is so
except
good.
the
Kenny's
you know,
Seafood,
the
Slidell,
experience
Louisiana.
of being at a crawfish boil.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's more about
The community.
yeah, community, interpersonal relations and shit like that. Yeah,
Bunch of drunk coon asses.
what?
It's going to be fun.
That's the idea.
Coon asses.
And then when fall comes again, we could have a couchon de lait.
I don't know what you just said.
It's a pig roast.
Oh, we're gonna roast a pig.
You got a pit?
We'll get a little one.
Hell yeah.
You got a pit, or are you going to build one?
I'll probably build one.
That'll be y'all's summer project.
But, well, it could be a temporary one.
You can just dig
Yeah.
a hole in the ground and do it like the Hawaiians do.
Yeah, that'd be fine as long as I don't have to eat poi.
Just put Zeus on the job. Just be like, dig, boy, dig.
Well, I mean, he's trying to tear up the backyard right now anyway, so.
Just let him go ham. He'll be tired. It'll take him all summer.
I don't know. I'll figure out something to do. Okay, funny story about that very thing. When my brother Rick lived in South Florida, Mom and Dad went down to visit him, and Rick asked him to bring a suckling pig so they could cook it. Well, they got there, and the suckling pig was bigger than Rick had anticipated. And so he couldn't put it on the barbecue.
Jeez.
So Dad Rick came up with a brilliant idea. Well, Rick had a metal shed in his backyard that he wasn't using. So they said,
geez.
we're going to turn this into a smoker.
Oh, my God.
Worked out just fine, huh?
Well, the funny part about it was the cops showed up, and
Y'all were that loud?
no, that wasn't why they were called. So my dad was the only one that was there. Mom was gone with Carol, and Rick was at work. And the cops showed up, and the cop was like, sir, we have a report that you're burning garbage here. He's like, burning garbage? What are you talking about? There's a bunch of smoke coming out. He's like, we're not burning garbage. Come on, I'll show you. And so he took the cop around back, showed him that they were smoking a pig, and the cop was like, oh, that smells so good.
How would you interpret that as garbage? I don't think that you could make that. Maybe
It's-
they just saw the smoke and
it's South Florida.
assumed that it was garbage.
I mean, you know, it's South Florida.
Yeah. They're snooty.
Well, they're
Fucking snoots.
pretentious jerks is what they are.
Well, that's because they're Northeastern transplants.
Yeah,
A lot of
right?
them are. Yeah. A lot of them are. But yeah, so that was the funny story about it, you know.
That's why Florida is not considered a southern state.
No, it's not. Too many.
Well, the
Northerners.
northern part of Florida is considered a southern state.
The Panhandle is.
yeah.
Absolutely. I can get on board with that. Up until Jacksonville.
That's why we call it the Redneck Riviera.
Redneck Riviera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can get on board with that.
I mean, you go to Jacksonville, there's more Georgia fans than there is any team from Florida.
It's basically like Georgia.
Oh no, it is Georgia.
about all
It's
it
South
is.
Georgia.
They just need to lob off the panhandle and give it to Georgia.
I don't know about that.
Just make the state square. Just be like, it's fine.
Of course, I agree. You know, politically, the Panhandle is a lot more in keeping with Georgia than it is with South Florida
Mm-hmm.
and the I-4 corridor.
I'd like to think that Georgia is really Republican, but since they voted for Biden last time,
Well, but you got to look at it because of, I mean, we think of Texas as being very, very red. But
Yeah.
when you start looking at Dallas and Houston
yeah.
and Austin,
liberal as fuck.
there's a lot of people that live there. That being said, Beto never stood a chance of getting elected in Texas. I don't know what he was thinking. He can get elected in a congressional district where, you know, there's only liberals for the most part that live there, but across the entire state, no, they're never going to elect that pinhead.
Yeah. It's like when Biden won Georgia, and I was talking to Bowen about it. He was like, look how many people are up in the Atlanta metro area or whatever it was.
Yep.
And it's more there than the entire state.
Yep.
And it's just like, what? I just never thought about that before. So when you look at it and you're like, holy fucking shit.
Well, that's why the liberals want to do away with the electoral college, because then they know that they'd never lose another election.
I mean, I think we should do away with the electoral college.
Hmm.
I don't know why it was there in the first place, because the Constitution has, if there's ever a tie, I think it's Speaker of the House decides it. And it's not like it would ever come to a fucking one-on-one tie like that stupid fucking movie. But
The electoral college exists so that small states don't get locked out of ever seeing presidential candidates. Now,
Right.
is
Now-
that as valid as it was then? No.
But even now, even the smaller states still don't have like an adjusted gross electoral college vote. They're still only like, I think Wyoming only gets 2, and their population is way more than it used to be.
You get one for each senator
And one
and one for however
represent-
many congressmen.
And I think we only get
you only have
one
one
senator
congressman.
and
You
one-
have 2 senators. Every state has 2 senators, boo.
Yeah.
And then you have 1 congressman. So Wyoming gets
it's 3.
and then California gets 60.
60 or
No, they
something.
lost some though,
Did they?
because people are leaving that place.
Some of them are getting
Now
burnt.
they're leaving
Yeah.
even faster because it's burning.
I was going to say, because their homes got burnt up.
Yeah.
I have a coworker. He lives 20 miles south of there, I believe. And they had some windstorm that came through a few days ago that was like 80-mile-an-hour
Yeah.
winds. He sat there and he said that him and his father-in-law for 6 hours had to sit there and hold these French doors shut because if the wind had blown them open, it would have pulled the doors, the suction would have pulled all the rest of the doors off, and then the glass would have just shattered and like ripped everyone apart.
Well, I mean, that's what the driving force behind the fires is right now.
Yeah.
This was that 100-mile-an-hour
Well,
wind.
I was saying he was telling me
It's
about
the
that.
Santa Ana winds.
And
Yeah.
he was like, it's literally like we were sitting in like y'all's hurricane for 6 hours, holding the door shut. And I was like,
Welcome
dear.
to our world.
Yeah, I was like,
right.
just knowing what we've gone through hurricane season and the things that we've seen, that is mind blowing to me.
Well, I keep seeing the news, and don't get me wrong, I'm empathetic to those people who are losing their homes because that sucks. But I'm only empathetic to a degree because all of the rich folks are like, "Oh no, I lost my second home." I think Paris Hilton was one of them. She's like, "My Malibu second house burnt down." I'm like, "So what, bitch? Well, fuck you. You're worth so many millions of dollars just for becoming popular, sucking some dude's dick, and having the video put out there."
And
Who
one of
cares?
them was bemoaning the fact that they didn't have insurance. This is a person who's worth.
Yeah.
How do you not have insurance?
They
I don't
won't-
even think that's legal.
They don't.
No, if you own your house outright, you're not required to insure it.
Do you think any of those people actually own their houses?
I mean, some of them might.
If they're worth hundreds of millions of dollars and you go buy a $20 million home, I hope you got pay up front. You don't want to pay interest on that shit. Just buy it up front.
Well, that's true. But even then, you'd still want to insure all your shit.
There's a lot of insurance companies that pulled out of there. There's like 30 different insurance companies.
Well,
who
it's not
will
like we don't know what that's like.
We have that same problem
We have that
here.
same problem here.
Well, I mean, true. But still, though, I mean, it's.
I honestly should have looked for a house north of I-10.
No, because then when we're out to put my boat,
Well,
I need somewhere
We
to
would have
put
been in the
boat.
backyard where it was before.
yeah, well, that's true.
I like it being on the boat lift.
I mean, that's the problem here in Louisiana is that there's a lot of insurance companies just bailed
Yeah.
on people south of I-10.
I know our insurance company, ours is underwritten by our insurance company, but the underwriting group has stopped giving policies, but they grandfathered in everybody
Yeah.
that already had a policy. So if we lose that policy for whatever reason, we can never get it back. We're going to have to go somewhere else, and the rates are going to be fucking
You'll
off,
have to go where
off
I
the
go through
chain.
as Louisiana citizens.
And that's so expensive.
It's not cheap.
Yeah. Like even my insurance lady, she was like, if you have to go through the Louisiana homeowners insurance, she was like, you're going to get screwed. You're just going to get totally like,
Well, I have
fucked.
two separate policies. I have one, Allstate has one for the house itself. And then Louisiana Citizens does wind and hail. So,
And don't you need something else being on the water too?
Flood.
I mean,
well, I
aside
have
from flood.
No, I have flood. That's it.
Flood.
Which is funny because my house sits 9 feet above the ground. So
And you said it didn't flood in Katrina.
it had a foot of clearance beneath it. Yeah.
But I don't even think that was the biggest flood
yeah.
maker in your neighborhood.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
it
yeah.
was.
Was
Yeah.
it? Was
Yeah.
that? I thought it was maybe one
Katrina
of the other.
was a one in 1,000-year storm.
Well, again, I think that the storm was awful, but I think the worst part of it was when the levees broke. That was when.
Yeah, but that wasn't what impacted the North Shore.
No,
It was all storm
It was
surge.
all
Yeah.
storm surge
Yeah.
because of where it was coming.
Pontchartrain
Absolutely.
filling up.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's ridiculous that I know why New Orleans gets all the attention because it's a huge metropolitan area
Hmm.
and the corruption that existed because
What?
the levee's breaking.
Right.
And they went back and looked at it and they're like, yeah, this has been a real scam apparently for a long time. But Mississippi, where the storm actually
yeah.
made
Actually made
landfall,
landfall.
Yeah.
got hammered just as bad, if not worse, than New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was worse. Because the before and after pictures when Katrina wiped through there, I think it was worse.
Oh, my sister and her husband, they had fortunately sold their house like 2 months before Katrina came through, and they went to look at it afterwards, and it was just gone.
I was going to say, wasn't there a town that just literally got just like
The whole town.
the
got
whole
wiped
town
out.
got wiped out and like is no longer a town?
Oh, you're thinking about Pearlington.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Pearlington was where the storm made landfall, and that was oddly enough, where I had my RV for a while when I was living in it. And yes, Pearlington was devastated by the storm.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at situations like that, that's just it's tragic to see one day there's this civilization basically, and
Yeah. I mean,
Mother Nature's a cruel bitch.
yeah.
just give it a few more days, and then you go see what Palisades look like over in California, because that fire is just going ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what the
Burning
difference
everything.
is? The hurricanes, we don't have any control over that. I mean,
No.
hurricanes are, that's just Mother Nature giving you a big fuck you. There are things that you can do to prevent the damage from wildfires. And California clearly is not doing them.
Well, did you see the news articles that I was reading said that they cut $200 million off
Yes.
of the firefighters' budgets. They were even
Oh, whose brilliant idea was that?
Gavin
Newsom. It's fucking, he's not going to get reelected after this.
Oh, no, his political career is dead.
Yeah.
If he ever wanted to run for the presidency, he's
it's over.
done.
Yeah.
What
Stick a fork in him.
Wow,
Yeah.
that was a
He's got perfect hair, and he's never going to be employed again.
Yeah.
brilliant move there, bud.
Well, I don't know. MSNBC might employ him, so.
Maybe CNN.
Yeah.
CNN.
Yeah, it's just burning down out there. It's fucking, like I said, my heart goes out to everybody who's
Yeah.
not a multimillionaire. If you're a multimillionaire, go fuck yourself. That's just all it is to it.
It's hard for us to have sympathy for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, I mean, we're still paying for, I mean, if I owned this house, that'd be one thing, but.
Even if we owned it, we would still have insurance.
I mean, I would. Yeah.
You would have insurance.
Yeah, 100%. Because I don't even care where we got it from at that point, because we wouldn't have a house note. We could afford it.
Poor rich people.
Yeah, the life
I mean,
of
my
a rich
brother's
person.
house is paid for, and he still carries.
Well,
he
he's
carries-
in South Florida.
He's in Central Florida, technically, but yeah.
Oh, he's
Yeah.
waiting for that fucking hurricane to come.
Yeah, but he's pretty far inland. I mean, he's right smack dab in the middle part of the state.
Oh,
It's not gonna
for
get
whatever
too bad.
reason, I still feel like it's not. It should be illegal to, even if you own your house outright, to not have insurance. But I guess I see that because,
I'm not going down.
I mean,
It's not like a car where you can hit somebody with it that you have liability for. No, your house isn't going to kill anybody.
well, no, but I mean, I guess, where was my thought process going with this?
Squirrel.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Well, insurance, I guess, when you're paying for a house because you still owe on it, you have to have insurance. If you have
the mortgage company wants to be indemnified
requires
if something
you.
happens.
Right. And I guess there wouldn't be any real requirements if you owned it outright. But just being of sound mind, I would still want my property and shit to be protected.
There are some people who don't always show good judgment.
No. Maybe they need to be in therapy.
Shocker, I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would never own a home and not have it insured.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Unless the insurance goes up double what it
I
is.
mean, and not just that, but you live in a really nice house. What if you get robbed?
I mean,
That's why I have an alarm system. Zeus.
Zeus. Zeusowitz. Where you
He's
at?
not a home defense system. He's an alarm
They're
system.
both asleep. Leave them alone.
I'm my own home defense system.
Yep. All you need is somebody to wake your ass up.
That's it.
And you got it.
And he's good at that.
Your
Yep.
fancy water is here, by the way.
Fancy water. Is it sparkling or still? I always thought when they said still water that
It's-
they meant it's still water.
It's still water.
Thanks, Ted Lasso.
You ordered fancy water? You don't
Yes.
just go get it?
Well,
Well-
it came with the Walmart order.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Why would she want to leave the house?
You didn't want to leave the house either.
No. No, I didn't.
You left the house the other night to come to my house.
I didn't. I had a blast.
She went from one house to another one.
And
Just
that's
like
the
when we
reason
go
why
camp.
we didn't record this yesterday.
Somebody
because somebody
was hungover.
I wasn't hungover. I was just really tired. We stayed up until like 3.
sure.
That's called hungover.
Oh, it's called being tired.
And then we fucked
By
up.
the
and
way,
had
were you
Taco
the
Bell.
only one drinking the Kettle One vodka
Yeah.
Yes.
in that little bottle?
Yeah.
Yes.
I say little bottle, 750 milliliters.
Yeah.
Because you killed it.
Which point? I'm a professional drunkard.
You shouldn't have driven home, is my point.
Oh, no, it's fine.
No, you weren't.
I don't drink and drive.
Right.
I
We
get-
don't condone drinking and driving.
Yeah. I just get drunk and ride with you.
Okay.
No, You could tell I was drunk because we stopped and got Taco Bell. That's how
Yeah.
you know I was fucked up.
Yeah.
Nobody
that-
should ever get fucking Taco Bell sober. That's all
Agreed.
I'm gonna fucking say.
I don't understand how people eat Taco Bell like on a
Well-
daily basis when they're not.
It's interesting you say that
Sober.
because there's this places, because they're little carts in the French Quarter called Lucky Dog. Have you ever really spent any time in the quarter?
Nope.
Okay, well then you
Don't
wouldn't
want
understand
to.
it. So in the French
After what
Yes.
happened at the beginning of the month, I don't ever want to.
in the French Quarter they have hot dog vendors in carts, and they're
Oh,
called
okay.
Lucky Dogs. And I've never had a Lucky Dog when I was sober, so I can't really tell you what they taste like.
You know they're good when you're drunk.
But I've eaten a lot of them when I was drunk, when I was a younger man. And they used to have takeout Chinese places called, ironically enough, Takey Outie.
Oh my god.
Again, never visited one when I was sober.
It's a brilliant name,
Takey outie.
especially when you're drunk. Let's go to Tiki Odi.
Yeah. Did you mean
Hey.
to say it like that? No, it's just how I'm drunk. I am.
It's the name of the place. It
That
works
is.
when you're drunk.
Maybe we'll order Taco Bell when we have the next episode. Because
Oh,
we'll be
God.
drunk.
We will be.
Be drunk, so fuck it.
Get a family pack.
That'll be a
Fuck
mistake.
yeah. Fuck yeah. It's only gonna be a mistake the next day.
God.
We need to do it on a Saturday.
Yes. Maybe a Friday.
Oh, that might be even better if we do it on a Friday.
So we have 2 days to recover.
Yeah, we may need it.
You know,
I need
when-
I need to get drunk Friday so I can be sober Saturday so I can be drunk again on Sunday.
when I was in my 20s, I wouldn't have thought twice about it.
Oh, no, but it takes a lot more to recover from shit like that. That's why it took me a lot longer to recover from Friday night.
And I'm 10
The
10 years
soiree.
older than Brad, which makes me how much older than you?
16?
Ouch. 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 Ouch.
So you were driving cars when she was born.
I'd been driving cars for a year when she was born. I'd had my driver's license for a year. Hey,
Well-
that's no worse than the people we work with when, you know, I say something about when I joined the Coast Guard and they're like, I wasn't even alive then.
Oh, you was talking about drank that bottle at your house. I mean, we came home and drank more, you know. Yeah.
Okay.
And I fucked up Saturday morning when I woke up too because I'd mixed, had a hydration drink and I forgot I poured vodka in it. So I woke up Saturday morning.
You
Brad was
did that at my house.
No, but I drank it Saturday morning when I woke up. I was like, oh God, that's
Hey,
straight
man,
vodka.
little hair of the dog.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, I've never been a proponent of hair of the dog.
I have, especially when you need to rally. It does help.
Shampoo
I
the
don't
dog.
need to rally.
Well, in our younger days, we would.
I've never, no.
It
I've
makes-
never been that bad.
I mean, I haven't been that bad, but I mean, it makes me happier. Because
I mean,
once I
like-
get drunk enough the second night, then I don't fucking care that I was hungover.
When I'm hungover, I just want to be left alone.
It
Wait
helps
more.
with the hangover. You get over the hangover a lot quicker. And I'm not saying we do this every single time that we drink. It's
Every
always
other time.
it's always like those rare occasions when we have friends that come from out of town that we don't see regularly or haven't seen in a year, and we stay up all night drinking, playing card games, and laughing our asses off
Yeah.
until we're crying, and then we wake up the next morning because we're like, okay, we got to hang out, and somebody makes breakfast, and then we're like, mimosas, anyone? Please.
Yeah, see, that's not a problem for me because I can't do that stuff anymore.
See, apparently that's a shout out to Nikki and Andrew.
Yep.
I know y'all are listening, so what's up, y'all?
Shampoo the dog.
Shampoo the dog. Couldn't remember. We couldn't remember what hair. We was trying to remember the saying,
Oh.
hair of the dog.
They
And y'all were
also
saying
they
shampoo
also
the
It
have.
said it's like shampoo the dog, right? It's like, sure, why not?
I thought
So-
they also it morphed into that because they have a saying that uses shampoo of something in their saying,
maybe they did. You know what, Nikki
and
and
we
Andrew?
morphed it.
How about this, Nikki and Andrew? When you hear this, call us and let us know if that's how that happened.
That's how I remember.
Are
it.
they listening? Do you know?
They
did.
He
Oh,
said.
okay.
Yeah, he said he listened to it.
Yeah.
And Joe listened.
Oh yeah.
No. Your Joe, not my Joe.
Oh, which one's my Joe?
Joanne, Jelly.
Yeah.
Jelly Bean.
Oh, Joe. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. She listened to it. We know.
Hey, Joe.
Wow.
Hey, Joe.
Man,
Fuck.
it took you a long time to put that together.
Who's your Joe?
You're looking at him.
Well,
Baby kangaroo.
did you listen to it?
No, why would I listen to it? I'm part of it.
I listened to it.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
I listened to it too.
I listened to the entire hour and 45 minutes.
I'm going to listen to this one.
I will too.
Well, yeah, because you're going to edit it.
Well, that's beside the point. I might
No,
just listen-
I didn't listen to it. I mean, I listened to like 5 minutes of it so I could say, "Oh yeah, I hate the way my voice sounds." And then I was like, "Yeah, no, I don't need to listen anymore of this."
Oh, you need to listen to it. Got to hear what we sound like to know what adjustments to make.
Got to be a fan of your own show.
Yeah, geez.
I am a fan of the show. It's just that
You got to listen to it so we can get the numbers. we
cook the books.
Yeah, cook the books.
Okay.
I mean, we got tens of people.
We do have tens of
So then
people.
we'll set it to play at the house, and then we can go into work and grab the network there, and then set it to play at work, and go sit at a McDonald's and have coffee and set it to play there.
Oh, there we go. See that? We're gonna have
That's totally doctoring the numbers. I want them to be true.
we're gonna have totally tens of people.
It was way more than I thought. I thought we were only going to have 7.
We're over 20 already.
I haven't talked to my sister Jackie, so I need to talk to her and tell her she can be prepared for some profanity.
We cuss.
No, fuck no. Although, I was talking to her one morning with my brother Rick, because we have conference calls because they know I'm a captive audience when I'm driving to and from work. And they're always going into work and I'm coming home from work. And so she was dropping the F-bombs like crazy one morning. I was like, wow, okay. Not what I expected from you, sister, but okay. But I mean, she's a school teacher, so technically she's a librarian now.
So I guess we're gonna have a lot of. Nope, not that one. The other one. Nope. Which one is it? No, maybe it's the other one.
Did you deprogram it?
Oh no.
It was on your second page, I think.
Was it the second page? Where's the beep? Whoa. Megaphone.
This is your host, Brad BCG.
I don't know where it went.
I don't know. You can mess with that later.
Yes.
Damn it.
Yes.
Yes.
As I said previously, we're still working out the mixing board.
We're still working out the kinks,
Let's see, which one was it?
meaning the DJ over there needs to just let it go.
What? No way.
I don't have to. I can sit here and do anything I want because I paid for it. These are fun. I don't know where that thing went, though. What? Do I sound funny?
No, you sound great. I think you should use that filter all the time.
I might use this one.
Yeah, that doesn't suit you.
It's the devil.
I was going to say, it sounds a little creepy.
Oh, I found it.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. We're going to have a lot of these. Hey, go yourself.
Fuck that.
That. And now back to normal.
The whole reason why you have a podcast and it's not going out on the airways is so you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Whatever the fuck I want.
Whatever the fuck you want.
I want to sound like this. Beep, beep. I need to figure out a way to make this to y'all's mic like that. That way when Rome's or Baby Kangaroo is talking, I can just start up like this. He'd be talking normal, then all of a sudden, hey, what's going on?
Like he just inhaled a bunch of helium like
just get
Sheldon.
I can just get some helium.
Be like, hey, y'all, welcome to the pawn shop. of-
Life, because we're going to be here doing like, wait, what happened to my voice? Son of a bitch. I swear to this is, and then I gotta, fuck that. Oh, I didn't beep it.
Forgot to
Missed
beep
that
it.
one.
Missed that one. Damn it, it got through.
Fuck.
Post-editing blues.
It happens.
All right. I think we fucking talked shit long enough. This has been an extra 20 minutes, I think it was. So if you made it this far and you listened to our cattle whopping or whatever the fuck it's called, we appreciate you. And we will see you next time on Drunken Pawn Shop of Life.
Thanks,
Thanks
y'all.
everyone.
Your host, Brad BCG, and my 2 co-hosts. We'll see you next time.